Thursday. It is not quite 9:30 in the morning for me. A little bit of a slow start, but better late than never. Let's see. Today we're going to just kind of check out some of the new decor, not only those that are currently available in game, but also some that are expected to arrive later in the year. First, though, let me do my tweet before I forget. Okay, that's sorted. Hey, we have a visitor. Anyway, good morning, Soccer Top. Thanks for joining. Just a reminder for those that have characters on Entity, there is a housing competition going on right now. The last day to sign up is this Sunday. That's February 14th. If you're interested in participating in that, be sure and check out the thread. There's a link to the thread on my Twitch channel page in the resources section, or you can just go straight to the official forums and check out. I believe they've got it in the housing subforum. It's being hosted by the crud, what's the name? I forgot what the name was. It's like CNL or something. Hold on. NCL. Nexus Construction League, I think is what it stands for. Yes, Nexus Construction League. I assume that's like a circle. It might be it might actually be a guild. I don't know, but so one of the two. It's just an organization of avid builders, fans of WildStar housing that put together a little competition with some, decor rewards. I think there's prizes ranging from like music tracks to buildings, like maybe some of the mini fab kit house type things, and that sort of stuff. I do believe there is some issues with being able to transfer some of that stuff from the Dominion side on Entity to Exile side, so there may be some plat exchange rather than actual item exchange, because they simply can't transfer those items cross faction. But as well, it's only open to Entity, so. But in the future, they're hoping to expand into at least cross region. So we'll see how that goes. But as some of you may be aware, there is currently an in-game event going on. It's called the Dungeon Chase. And I forget how long it's supposed to go. I assume probably to the end of the weekend or so. It's usually these little chase events are just a few days in length. So you don't have a whole lot of time to collect all that you want. But there is packages that you can purchase on the cash shop if that is something you're interested in. But I did get a hold of a few things, so we're going to show off some of the. One of them is the new Protostar billboard. It actually talks. I don't know what all it says because the music I have playing is a little kind of covers it up, but you can see it's just kind of like a generic type of billboard. It's not got the little Christmassy stuff. So I've just added one here to kind of toss it out there. I actually got a couple of them, but I don't know if I'm going to use them all on this plot or if I'll place them somewhere else. It's kind of the tough thing. Once I started using alts for houses, then it becomes a question, okay, do I want to learn the decor on this character, or I want to move it to someone else? And will I regret the decision once it's done? Thank you, Soccer Top. Soccer says it's from February 10th to 12th and 17th to 18th. They're going to be having the chase. So, but that's the sign. Let's see. I got. You can see it from here. The new little floating shop. The only thing I don't like about it is it does move. So if you put an NPC or something inside, they don't move with the items, so it looks a little bit funny. I put a Protostar plushie inside it for the shop. So if I was to try and put things on the shelves, they would be kind of a little um, off as well. So I'm not particularly happy that it moves. You know, the other ones, they hover, but you know, they have that hover animation, but they don't actually move. So it's a little easier to kind of dress them up with extra things. But this one's going to be a little tricky to do that and to make it look normal. Um, but I'm sure folks will figure out interesting ways to use that. There's also the shelves Protostar version. Um, I imagine I can see people using this as ship parts of some sort, you know, some weird wings or um, uh, uh, some other kind of bit to some kind of ship parts, but also using them just as shelves. I'll probably, I've just set this one out here temporarily. I don't know if I'm going to actually use it here or rework the little mini house into something else and incorporate some of those. But I did get a handful of those as well. There are quite a few new items though that you can either obtain through doing the dungeons and getting the little uh, parts, bits, or whatever that you can get to cash in on that. Photo chase February 15th. Well, it's like all sorts of stuff going on. So we're gonna just drop into town, and I think I'm in town. I'm not really sure where I left off. I think I'm in Thade somewhere. It could be somewhere else. I tend to forget where I zone out. Okay. We're just going to drop by. I know it's kind of outside of housing, but it is housing related. We're going to take a look at some of the decor that is available from the vendors that you guys might be interested in. So there's three varieties. There's the Osun version stuff. So you can see there's like a platform. It's got the little wolf heads on it, which is okay. It's not necessarily something I'm interested in. The little spiky chain Osun version, really big and bulky. I'm sure some folks will find some use for that. There's the weapon rack. Now we already have a weapon rack that has weapons on it, but this one is an empty one so that you can put whatever you want on there. Then there's the Osun door, and I'm looking for a plot that has this available to kind of take a look at the action, because it's a functional door. I believe you click it and the portcullis just kind of raises, if I remember right, from what someone described. But I haven't found a plot that actually has it on there. I have one of the doors. I have one each, but I haven't put them on my plots anywhere because, again, I'm racking my brain as to where I actually want it to be. So if nothing else, I'll just bite the bullet and put it on a character, and we'll show it later. Here's a pillar, a Osun version pillar. Then there's the anvil, which I thought we already had this, which I think, especially the taurine stuff, I'm pretty sure we have a lot of things already there. Here's the head. It's kind of reminiscent of the drum that we already have, but this is just the head part. The Sword Maiden stuff, again, I'm pretty sure most of this we already have in game, so I'm not particularly happy with a lot of the choices here, but there is the new ruined pillar, which we'll be visiting a house here shortly that has some of these out, so you can kind of see them in use. And the new stone door, again, we're going to visit a house that has this, so you'll be able to see it in action. Because it is a functional door, and the way they used it, I completely didn't even notice that it was functional until they said it's over here. Here's a new torch. little thing. This we already had, so anybody that's spending their points or coins or whatever it is on these might want to hold off on that because that is actually already available in the game. Same way with this, I believe. The forge is already available. And this is actually a craftable thing that architects do. So some of these pieces are a little confusing as to why they're introduced them as space chase or dungeon chase stuff, but anyway. So then there's the Protostar section where you can get some Protostar goodies. Like I said, I stocked up on several of these bits just so that I had them because I am a big fan of the Protostar guys. This is the platform. You might recognize it from the, I think it's the Protostar Hazard Training Fab Kit. It's the same kind of platform that they use in that particular Fab Kit. And of course the shelves that we shelled already. And then they have a functional gate, little electrified fence. I haven't, like I said, I have it, but I haven't placed it, so I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I assume it's just, swings open. Then there's the collector. Again, a lot of these pieces I wish they, it's kind of a bittersweet thing. I like the look of it, but I don't necessarily like that it moves and floats like that, because there are some things that I would love to have the architecture of the blue metal and the bits that go with it, like the little designs, but they're not good for like stationary walls, or if you want to make buildings out of them, it looks odd to have it moving. Then there's the new billboard that I showed earlier. Then the rock crusher, which I imagine there's going to be a lot of people that's going to like that animation with that rotating blade there. I know several that are always on the lookout for moving gears and things for their ships and like little Mechatron robot things. And this has a number of little moving doodads that would probably make them squeal in delight. And then, of course, you have the floating shop. The little rocket bits on the back, and of course the lovely little windows. But again, it's not like you can use those windows, get several of these and kind of line it up. It'll be moving all the time, so it's a little yay and nay. And of course, there's the guards. I haven't actually seen any of them. And I don't have any offhand, so I can't really show those, but it'll be interesting to see how they look. I assume it's, like some kind of protostarish colored gear and stuff like that. So we're going to head back into housing, and we're going to drop by Darcy Everwood's place. They're the ones that have the Sword Maiden pillars and the new rock stone door, and check those out. So right off the bat, you can see they've used the new pillars here in their entranceway. And there's one here, and then one here as well, kind of help hold up their little cavey spot. Now, I don't remember where they put the door. Yep, right here. So if you look, you almost don't even notice it. It just kind of blends in. Of course, part of it is the lighting, part of it is the stones that they used around it. But if you kind of hover across, you can see where it lights up, and it shows you on the left the Stone Door Taurine little pop-up name. But if you look carefully, and you might even hear a little bit of the sound of the like stones sliding across each other. If you click it, you'll see that has a little dusty effect, and it just kind of opens nicely. Little interesting bit there. And there it's closing. So it's a nice effect. I'm sure a lot of people are going to find fun and interesting ways. We have a lot of players that have cave-like homes, um, and I'm sure these will be a fantastic addition. Um, but there you go. So that's that. Um, like I said, if I find some plots with some more of the decor that's actually in play on their property, I will uh, be sure and drop by there at a later time, and we'll show some more. I figure as the event continues on, more and more folks will have it available and they'll be able to show it off. Now there is, while there isn't apparently a Valentine's event, there is the Valentine collection kit or pack, if you will. And it comes with one each of the following items. So you can get the little plushie, the little Yeti plushie, um, the 4-poster bed, which includes the little Cupid Chua on the back, the heart pillow with the little frillies on the edge, the pink skeech with the heart, and the pink stem dragon. It's just a limited time little bundle offer. As far as I know, there's no other way to obtain those items. Um, so, you know, if you're interested in having a little bit of Valentine's and have, you know, not have to create it yourself, that would be a way. It's not too much. I mean, especially if you've been saving back your Omnibits, it could be something that you can treat yourself to. As far as upcoming furniture decor, I did another scan. Usually you can scan it and then that'd be it. But every time there's an update, I always do a rescan just to see if there's some new things that might be in the pipeline that they're not actually available in game yet, but the artwork and everything is already inside the game. The coding and stuff has just not been actually, you know, released. So there's a lot of new stuff that you might be interested in. There is the new colorful lights. We already have the one string lights, but now we're going to have a few varied versions. It reminds me of the string lights for Shades Eve, the loops, the shapes that they're coming in. But you can see they're going to be a lot of varieties. And most folks are suspecting that it has to do with spring. And we're going to have some kind of a spring event because there's a lot of new springy type decor that have been added recently. So, and of course with spring you think of lop, so there are some new fences on the way. There's already the dancers, which you can't really preview them, but there's also a Kurg coming and another, I think it's a stationary NPC that's on the way. There's the Lop House that's been recently added, and the lamppost, another part of fencing, the nice little lantern string of lanterns. Folks have always been saying, oh, I'd love to have some of those. This will be your chance eventually. There's the leprechaun statue. It's a little, he's got like, I don't know, an eye patch or something. He's got like coins and things all over his hat and a really curly little mustache thing. And then the leprechaun pot of shinies. I definitely want to get hold of one of these because, well, it's got the carrot on there, so that's my favorite bit. But it's got the little sparkly coins kind of thing going on. Then there's some new fence pieces. We already have the white fence posts, but apparently we're going to be getting one that's got a little bit of vines, ivy growing on it. There's also, we already have the picket fence bits, but now we're going to get some. You can see this one's, doesn't have the points on it. It's a little crooked. This one's going to be a little bit more straight, and then we have different versions, the short, the medium, and the long. So for those of you that really want to have that really nifty little white picket fence around your house, that'll be something that you can get into with that. Then there's flowers, lots of new flowers coming out. There's of course all of the garden clumps. There's just a number of variety of those. For those that don't want to have to put individual plants all the time, this will be a really quick way to really liven up your landscape very quickly, because it comes fully arranged with different styles of little flowers. You got all these little pretty blooms, and it's in different shapes and probably arrangements as well. It's kind of hard to see from the side, but then you got rows of flowers, like if you want to trim your house. And this one looks slightly curved, so if you want to make a nice little round bit, trim your house. We have round houses and square, straight edged ones, so you'll have the choice of doing that. Flower beds for your windows, if you want to add that. Some of our windows have empty ones. Now you can fill them with these little flowers. We've also got some new potted ones coming in. Looks like little funny daisy kind of things. And you got the little white one, red one. Basically the same plants that you see in here, just single in little pots. And then we have the fencing little flower vines in different styles. So we really, anyone that's got an orney type, naturey looking plot, they're going to be going crazy for all of these bits. Be nice for all the vines. And of course, you have the vine covered arch and gates. Makes it a lot easier. I've tried to decorate some of mine up with existing plants that we have, and it's doable, but it's awkward, because they don't curve around the poles like you want. But you do your best, and but now we'll have those as an option. Let's see. Then we have. I think we already showed the house. And we got some hedges coming in. I don't think they're the kind of hedges that a lot of people were hoping for. I think a lot of people would really like the ones that are in the actual hedge fab kits. They're square, rectangle, a lot more straight edged, and these are a little bit more wild looking. But I'm sure folks will find it. It reminds me of the bramble bushes, but they just have some of the root stuff is showing. But there is two versions. One's a little less clumpy than the other. But like I said, it's probably not exactly the hedge folks were hoping for, but it's a start. More greenery and things that will help people dress up their plot, the better. So can't really argue about it too much. There's a few new crate things. I think that's something else. They got the jars and crate with the jugs, and then a wood metal crate for that one. Almost looks like a treasure trunk without the lock on it. Then there's the hay pile. We've seen this in the open world in a few places, like I think at Nibbin's Farm, they have that. And this is going to be coming apparently, where it's, eventually. I can't promise that it's going to come with the next, kind of springy event. But it would, it's something there. It's in the works. That's the best I can say. There's a lot of stuff in the works. And yeah, soccer, I don't know. There's a lot of things that you would think it would be better to make it straight and easier to, be like to Tetris things together, and they make it with all these, even this is all crooked, but, well, we'll work with it. Then there will be a lot of people excited about the tea pots and cups. There is a tea set. It's white. It's got an Orin figure on it, in pink and blue, little red jeweled top there. It's a little crooked again. It just looks a little lopsided, but for those that have been asking for a tea set, it is coming eventually. Here's the little, I guess this is the sugar pot. And then this is the saucer. Looks a little chipped. Can't zoom in any closer than that, unfortunately, on the preview, but there it is. And here's a teacup, and it looks a little chipped as well. In fact, it's even called teacup chip. So, but for those that have been wanting, for the longest, all we've had is the teacup, and you can only get one of those through a little quest that you do, or little exploration discovery that you make there, and I guess it's Celestion. And for the longest, all we've had is that cup of tea, and now we can have some other little cups of drinks. So there is that. Then there's a new version of the tattered couch. This is the one that we have now, and this is the one that is going to be, look how ragged that looks. I mean, it's got a cinder block for one side, holes and springs poking out. It's just awful looking. But I wish we could get the blanket and stuff separately. That's what I would like. The pillows and the blanket, that's what I would love to have separately. But, they decided to give us the couch as a big, old, chunky thing. I wouldn't doubt there's a few people that just get the couch just for the skulls and just use it for that bit alone. Anyway, or maybe just the cinder block, who knows. Just some really funky stuff. There is a table, medical exam table. It's one that I remember seeing, I think it's in the WildStar housing initiative building, where they have like the little eatery. It's some tables from that. I think that's what it looks like. It's just it's kind of, again, it's hard to tell from this particular preview because you can't see the top, but it's just as smooth, and it's got the line right down the middle. But I'm pretty sure in the WildStar housing initiative building, there are some there. So there's that. Let's see what else. Gosh, I can't read my writing. What does that say? I have no idea what that says. Anyway, that's a taste of some of. There's probably a few pieces that I've missed because there's literally thousands of items to kind of go through, and you just kind of have to kind of guess at the names, things. And wow, I cannot read what that word is. I have no idea. I wrote it down so that we could take a look at it. Now I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's just a variety of things that, you know, like I said, they're not currently available in the game, but they're coming. I mean, it's just like all of the steam bits that we can see, the animated steam and the water. We see that they've got a lot of particle effects like the splashes and the sprays. They just haven't released them yet. Like there's a lot of protostar stuff, like the hills, the Insta hills. That would be interesting to see how folks use them, but they're just not in the game yet. We're waiting. I'd love to get some of these ribbons and things. That would be nice. And the banners. Those would look lovely in my mall. Hint, hint. Like, and they got this bigger version. We just got the smaller version of the little shop, floating shop. But there's also a bigger version somewhere. Um, Maybe that's coming with the next Proto Chase event. Like the curtains, I'd love these curtains. I mean, we just don't have a lot of fabrics that are loose. Here's a streamer that I would love to have. There's a staircase to go along with the Protostar balcony that we've had for a while. Yeah, it's just a lot of little bits. Strange little incubation thing. I don't know what. There's one with a little tomato on it. He's sweating weirdly. But yeah, it's just kind of, you know, it's exciting to see this stuff, but it's frustrating because they're not available in game yet. Yeah, I really love the blue of the curtains. It's really nice. You know, we have the red ones and the white ones, but well, the red ones are kind of expensive because you have to use up all your renown for, especially if you're going to use a bunch of them. And the open ones, they're all right, but if you make them too small, then you can't get through the opening, and it's a little awkward. And at least, it's just I worry how much of this stuff will have to be bought through you know, cash shop, or if it's going to be something that, you know, someone like me would be willing to obtain. There is this. In the past, I've put together a taco. I like made it out of 2 bananas and put some green stuff, and they've actually put in a taco decor. So you can put that on your taco stands now. You know, once it hits. I don't know. It's kind of weird looking. Got like some taco sauce spilt on it or something. But that's the only new food item that I've seen. Sadly. Let's see what other. And of course, there's the doors. We saw the stone door in action. The other one, I wish the preview actually showed how it looked. But you can see there's some other doors that are in the works. There's an orange one and the wood orange one. Gosh. Just one of those things. Just gotta be patient, I guess. I'm just going to go through and see if there's anything I spot that I haven't seen before. It's like we've been waiting for the jukebox. His preview's been in there for a while. A lot of this came with the recent, I don't know, was it Sim Chase? I think it was the Sim Chase that a lot of this come out. So none of that is new. I actually saw this on the auction house the other day. It was very pricey, but it's the first time I actually saw it because there was some speculating that it wasn't in game yet, but it actually is. It's in game on Brooke's Bridge, and I think they were trying to sell it for like 10 plat or something. It's like, yeah, I don't want to spend that much on something I'm not sure I would even figure out how to use. I don't think there's any new ones of those. I don't know why that one's just by itself in that particular bit. Looks like all of the flowers are listed in the grass category, which is a little weird. I would have thought it would have been in the flowers, but who knows who figures out what goes in what. Okay, apparently there's no hardware. That's weird. Lighting. I think this preview's been in here a while. I'm not sure about that one. Oops. Of course, the particle effects. Folks are really anxious to get a hold of a lot of these. And you can see they've been busy. They've added quite a few, because I don't remember this one. That's something I think they just added. But there's a lot of varieties. And I mean, it's just a matter of waiting for them to actually make them available to us. There's a lot of neat bits. I mean, look how pretty that is. But, you know, who knows? I mean, they've even got little butterflies. Flitterflies. I want to call it that. I mean, how cute would that be? Yeah, I prefer the orange chandelier lighting to the Exile one. The Exile chandelier, that one's more like a spotlight. It's really harsh. The orange one's a little bit softer, but yeah, it's still pretty focused. I don't know. I wish you could just kind of adjust the lighting, you know, without having um, the actual lamp to have to try and hide and everything, because sometimes it's just not possible to do that. And who knows, some of these might actually give off light of some sort. But I mean, look at that. It's like mesmerizing to look at all these. Yeah, well, it's like the brass standing lamp. It's got those two cones, and it's like, I've seen some people find some creative uses for it, but it's just awful looking. Kind of hard to see, but that's several little flitterflies in that bunch. Let's see, what else is we got here? Pillows. Yeah, the only new one is the pillow heart, which is the one that you can get from the cash shop right now in the little Valentine's bundle. It's a shame that, you know, you have to buy the entire bundle just to, you know, if you can't like stock up easily on, you know, if you want like 50 of these pillows, you'd have to buy 50 of those Decor packs, and it just seems kind of a downer. Let's see, plants. I think most of these were already in. Obviously, again, this isn't available in game that I know of, but it's a really pretty one, and I like the little sparkle effects on it. And yeah, most of these were added with the Winterfest stuff. And that's some of the new Shrine Rebel that was part of the. Why this is listed in the rocks, I'm not sure. I think that's a boo-boo. That does not look like a rock to me. Rugs. Yeah, I don't think there's been any new additions there. And seats. I'm surprised this is considered a seat because it's not like it's a functional seat like the rest. We don't see anything new there. These have been in here for a little bit, but they have yet to be added as far as I know. I had assumed they would come out with the Space Chase stuff because it kind of, it's Arc ship related, but I guess they're holding it off for something else. But eventually we'll get some interesting little metal shelves. In the meantime, you can get this now, so. Statues. Yeah, there's a few things that I'm not sure. Look at that. That's just weird looking. Some of these things, like I said, have been in, but they're just not available yet. I imagine a lot of Draken homes would like this one. I know it's not Draken, it's Dreg, but it's got, that the leather and the horns and things like that. They would probably really enjoy. And of course the table there. And hardware. They have this, the little toolbox that you see. There's some on some of the fab kits. I've seen them in the cities and stuff. It just isn't available yet. It's one of those things that they've got in the game, but they just haven't given us access yet. There's also, I thought there was something else. I might be thinking of something else, but definitely the toolbox. I thought they had another tool separately, but I guess not. Like the hammer, I thought it was like the screwdriver, I thought they had separately. Doesn't look like it. And of course the toys. Everybody's been wondering where the little Chupacabra is. I haven't seen anyone talk about actually obtaining one, so as far as I know, it's still not in the game yet. Most of the other stuff I think is around. I don't know if these are going to be interactive in some way. It says flash trap, but I don't know what that actually means. And here's a stasis trap. Again, I don't know what those are for, but I'm surprised it even has its own category. In fact, I thought it would just be, Now, I know there was some actual, probably in the wall decor. We'll see here shortly. There's some other pictures that we're waiting on as well. There's a burnt log. Haven't seen that yet, but it's there. Talk about some weird stuff to make out of that. There's a lot of weird. Here's a floating log split. As far as I know, some of these just haven't made it in yet. I think this one's really pretty. There's some interesting little bits, but to me, it's just exciting. Even though they're not available on game yet, it's exciting to know that they are working on, adding more and more. Even look at that, turrets even have their own little section. Yeah, the wall decor, let's see. Yeah, see, they had some of these pictures. They look like travel posters, but they're like little portraits of some of the characters. Some pretty nice. I mean, for what it is, the artwork's really lovely. But I have no idea if and when they plan to add these. But how cool are some of those? Poor little WildStar. He's been defleshed. I like how the bow tie fancy is in the weapons and armor. You know, I know armor is, they're talking like wardrobe and stuff, but it just seems weird to have all of the clothes in the weapons and armor section. Sounds weird. What's that? The posters, you mean? It's like these, we currently have the stained glass justice version that we can craft. Um, but there's also other versions that just haven't been given to us yet. Look at the detail on that. Some pretty colors. This one's, I like this one especially with the flowers. But it just hasn't arrived yet. It looks Asian almost. Here's a window. Closed. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The So often you try to use the posters like for a painting or something, you got that beyond the fringe text to have to cover up, and it's not always conveniently placed to be able to do that. So yeah, the non-text posters would be fantastic. What I'm wishing is one of these days I'll be snooping through here and see letters and numbers that we'll be able to use for like signing stuff. Um, that would be good. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming, and so you know it's something to be um, uh, uh, something to look forward to. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to see some of the stuff that's coming. So that's it for our Decor preview of upcoming stuff and new stuff. Like I said, as I find other plots that have some of the Decor um, placed that is currently available that we can obtain, then I will for sure drop by there in later um, streams. Or if I decide where I'm going to place some of the bits that I've obtained, then I'll show them there. But anyway, I did get a hold of some more of the gear trophies, so I figured we could probably finish this up, and that'll wrap up today's little stream. Um, let's see. I can't remember if I set it as a set yet or not. Let's run through here. I like way too many of these things. Okay, it doesn't look like I've saved this set yet. I thought I had, but maybe I forgot to save it. So I think it's this one. Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add the hover park pieces for the corner as well. Get it all sorted. Yeah, that would work. The only thing is with the posters, you still got that metal frame that you have to kind of contend with. So, is that part of the set? Weird. Oh, okay. Link that up then. That's true. You could add some kind of ruffle or something, I guess. Okay, so I think that's the entire block now. And we'll say this is the gear wall. We're going to click on it and add the linked set. And just for safe sake, we'll do this. And then, of course, whenever I do a set, I'm going to be placing a duplicate down. I always double check to make sure I have everything, or if I have enough money or a noun or whatever, just to be on the safe side before because it will give you an error if you try to place it and it isn't, you don't have everything or have the resources for it, and that kind of messes it up. But it's telling me that there's no money required, no renown required. I have everything already in the crate, so I should be able to just plop it down. So I'm going to say place and link. You see it is going through, plopping it all down, and then I'm just going to move it up. Probably have to readjust the bits here because I don't want it blinking there, but it's a really quick way to kind of do it. So now you have this really big wall in the center, so that I have not only the outer walls to hang pictures on, but now I have the inner walls as well. And I could, maybe put a faux door on one end and make it seem like there's some kind of storage down inside there or something. But yeah, that's just a quick way of using that the set manager to extend something or just repeat it. It doesn't have to be just your chairs or something that you make. You can do that with practically anything. So I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed a little sneak peek at some of the stuff that's available. Maybe you haven't run any of the new dungeons yet, or not new dungeons, but any of the dungeons for the new stuff, and you were just curious as to what some of it looked like. Like I said, if I find a house that has a little bit more of the items on preview, we'll take a look at those later, but I think it's still just a little bit too early to show that off. But we did look at some of it on the preview screen, so that's a start. But like the NPCs and stuff, I haven't seen what they look like at all. I don't know if they talk or if they move. I assume so, but who knows? Just a reminder, again, the Nexus Construction League is hosting their housing competition. Sunday, February 14th is the last day that you can submit your home and be guaranteed a full allotment of time for them to review it. I think they're slating about 30 minutes per home because they have, last I heard, it was like 30 something homes that are already submitted. So they have to kind of say, we'll give it 30 minutes and then we're moving on to the next one. Otherwise, they might be there for months trying to go through all of these places. But you got one on Cheeky's plot. That's on Dominion's side, right? I'll take a look at that later. Maybe we'll visit that one tomorrow. Anyway, there is, I think, a small window. If you're later than February 14th, they might still accept it, but you won't be guaranteed the full amount of time for reviewing it. They might only give you 10 minutes as opposed to 30. So, if you really want them to take a good close look at your plot, the better that you sign up before the 14th. That is for entity. You can get the link off of my Twitch channel page in the resources section, or you can just go straight to the uh, official forums and find it in the housing subforum. That's the only one that I'm aware of that's going on right now. I haven't heard of any other housing related competitions of any sort, be it community backed or carbine backed. I haven't heard from any of that. But maybe for the next holiday event, if they're actually going to have a spring event, maybe someone will put something together for that. Let's see. I do have my own Valentine's Day event Saturday. I'll be opening my house on my alts plot, Ginger Greenleaf. That's with 2 J's, not 2 G's. But that's Saturday evening. I'll be opening it up to the public and hosting the guild event, and then probably Monday or Tuesday we'll drop by on the stream to have a look at some of the stuff that I put together for that one. Like I said, it's nothing really big and grand. It's just a small little thing. I wanted someplace Valentine's-y for my guild to congregate for our little event that I'm hosting. So I just decided to dedicate one of my alts plots to that. So yeah, there may be some ideas that folks will like and want to take and use in their own plots. But unfortunately, because I'm kind of keeping it a surprise, I don't want to show it just yet. Okay, soccer, I can do that. Maybe after I log off of here. Hey, Bones. You're coming in just at the end. Were you busy at work? I assume so. Always got those meetings going on. But yeah, we'll be taking a look at that next week, though. And maybe you end up using some of the ideas next year or something if we're still around. I hope we are, but with all the doom and gloom lately, it's folks are really quick to say, things are not going so well. But for me, I'm enjoying the game. I'm going to be sticking it out for as long as they allow me to tinker around on my house plot. So, oh, you just got into work. Oh, late shift this week. Oh, that's nasty. I don't know. That would be weird switching the shifts. I would think your little sleep clock would go off funny. But yeah, and of course, next week we'll be doing some exile house tours. We had some really lovely ones that we visited on Dominion side yesterday, and hoping to find some just as fantastic homes on exile for next week. I already have, I think it's 3 homes in the list. There's another one that I'd like to visit, but they're not actually done, so I'm going to have to ask if they're okay with me taking a look at it even when it's not finished, or if they want me to wait. Ugh, I don't like those hours. I guess I've got it easy. I don't work, so. Not to rub it in or anything, but it's fortunate. When I did work way back when, like 20-something years ago, I put my time in. I was working like 60, 70-hour weeks, so, I paid my dues. But I loved it. But it was before I had a family and stuff, so it was easier to kind of, deal with the long hours when you're alone than when you have family. And of course, my gaming would be kind of eating into that as well. So you spend your mornings working out. Well, lately, I used to make sure I had a little bit of time in the mornings, and I always kind of doodled around on the evenings. But lately, my schedule's just been kind of so topsy-turvy. I just, maybe I get a few minutes here and a few minutes there, and it's been rough. In fact, I'm really technically not complete with the Valentine plot that I'm putting together for Saturday. I still have a few more things that I'd like to do, but I just haven't had a chance to sit down. Because, it's one of those things that, you have to have a good spot of time to be able to build on it before, it's if you like put one item, then you kind of forget, well, did I do this? Or, I don't know. It's just, I would prefer like have like an hour at least to kind of sit down and just concentrate on it. But I don't know. I've been doing other things, and it's always something else comes up that makes it where I don't spend as much time as I'd like to. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna call it good for today. Again, I hope you guys had fun, and I'm gonna try and be here again tomorrow, and hopefully, if I hunt it down, we'll be able to see some of the other new stuff. If not, I'll definitely aim for scoping out some of that for next week. But good luck with your own projects. Again, I appreciate all of the follows, the tweets, the retweets, and the support. I know it's not, housing's not for everybody. Not everybody's into it as much as some of us. But I appreciate those that are into it, and they're supportive of the stream and what I do on it, and it just encourages me to keep up with it. Um, yeah, well, I can't really say that because I'm kind of stingy with my money, so I usually always have a little, pretty good cushion. But I know a lot of builder guildmates that it's always that it's build, 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 grind, 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 build, build. They're always like, I need, well, I think renown is my big thing that I'm having trouble holding on to because I've been spending it kind of willy-nilly, not really thinking about how much I have left, and now I'm going to have to go do some grinding for renown. I think that's the part that's hurting me the most. Some of those items are so expensive, like some of the beds, just like 25,000 right there, just like out. It's like, ugh. Because uh, one of the things that I'll be showing in the Valentine plot, it required a bed. I think it was 20,000 for that. And it's like, ugh, there's so much renown. I don't want to spend it. But so now I'm down to like, I don't even think I have 500 anymore. Yeah, yeah. The the bunker house and the spacious house are always kind of, especially for new people getting into it. That 3 plat can really sound like an enormous bit, especially if you're also aiming to do that for all of your alts. I think that's what hurts too. Is a lot of us, we have our alts, and we want them to have the luxury of having a really big or a vacant plot, and that can kind of eat away at your funds. So yeah, housing, it's an an expensive hobby, not only time wise but money wise as well. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to bite the bullet. But again, I've said it many times before. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's one of those things, it's an investment. You're always going to be constantly, this like, I was trying to explain to my mother-in-law about the game. She doesn't quite understand the whole concept of the fighting creatures to get the loot. And I said, well, yeah, it's fighting, it's kind of gory and just dying and exploding carcasses and stuff. I said, but I just do it so that I have money to go buy furniture for my house. I if I could get by with not having to do all of that, I probably would. But you have to do some questing and stuff to get that done. Wow, 2 on each side, level 50. I I struggle with working on it. The only one I've worked on is with the Valentine plot for Ginger. I did actually go and get her reputation up so that she could get some of the items from the reputation vendor in Galeris. I did work on her for that. So I did a small bit of questing, and in the process she leveled a little bit. So she's above 14 now, but most of mine, I think the majority of my alts, I have like 23 alts altogether. I went and splurged and created a bunch of them, but they're all level 3 for the most part. There's only like a couple of them that are 14, and then now I've got one that's, I don't know, a little bit higher than that, just because I wanted the renown. Because there are some things from the renowned vendors that are bind on pickup. You have to purchase it on the character that you want to use it, which is unfortunate, but you know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, it will probably be ages before I have another level 50, because I'm just too lazy to work on it. I'd rather spend my time doing other things. Okay, so I think I've already said it like twice now, but that is it for today. Thank you guys for joining me, and hope to see you again soon. In the meantime, have lots of fun and happy building. Bye-bye.